Princeton, New Jersey, July 1935. While collaborating at the Institute for Advanced Study, physicists Albert Einstein and Nathan Rosen published a groundbreaking idea. They concluded that the theory of relativity allows for shortcuts across the space-time continuum. These paths, called Einstein-Rosen bridges, known as wormholes, connect two distant locations, making travel to the most remote stars possible. What you're talking about is a structure in space that involves extreme bending of space and connecting two different parts of an area. So, if you think of a piece of paper curved around, punched out, and bordered from one place to the other, that's your basic wormhole. From our planet to the nearest star system is 4.2 light-years away. That means you would have to travel for 4.2 years at the speed of light, 186,000 miles a second, to get there. The only way to do that would be by something like a wormhole. While the idea of wormhole travel offers incredible possibilities, realizing this technology poses immense challenges. Scientists estimate that creating a traversable wormhole would require much more energy than anything we can produce today. But there is a theory that so-called exotic matter may provide the key to unlocking wormhole travel. The need is matter with negative mass, and we're only aware of matter with a positive group, so we call this exotic matter. Not that it couldn't exist, we're just not aware of it yet. The bottom line is it takes enormous amounts of energy to create these. Imagine taking all of Jupiter, now its entire mass, and converting that to power. You know you're talking millions and millions of times more energy than you have in a nuclear bomb. Although most scientists say we're a long way from developing the technology to create wormholes, if such a thing is possible, some believe these celestial shortcuts already exist. In 1991, scientists at Vanderbilt University proposed that the chaos of the Big Bang not only created the universe but also may have caused the formation of many wormholes billions of years ago. During the Big Bang, space-time itself was being mashed together, expanded, and contracted, and one theory says that if you had something like the size of the Himalayan mountains, the space-time around it could have been so severely stressed that it would mash this matter inside its event horizon. In the same way, you could imagine space-time being mashed together and forming a mini wormhole. According to researchers, the possible result would be a wormhole about the size of an atom. These mini wormholes could be stretched to create a traversable wormhole. One of the things we know is that since the Big Bang, the universe has been expanding, which means space-time overall has been stretching. So when the universe is small, you make a teeny little wormhole. As that whole structure stretches, that full wormhole also stretches and grows big. You could end up with a considerable wormhole. Now, if wormholes were created in the earliest stages of the universe, is it possible, as some ancient astronaut theorists suggest, that celestial beings have already used them to travel to Earth in the distant past? Wormholes are stargates opening, and beings coming through them are a way to explain how man interacted with ancient gods. In Suffolk County, England, a remote forest in the village of Rendlesham has become famous for being the site of one of the most extraordinary UFO encounters ever reported. And some of those who experienced it believe this incident also involved time travel. The event occurred on December 26, 1980. Airman John Burroughs was performing a routine security check at a U.S. Air Force base when he received orders to investigate a possible downed aircraft. My supervisor called me on the radio and asked me to meet him to check his gate. We were driving down the road to the east entrance to check on it when he suddenly saw some strange lights in the forest. So, I called it in and let him know something weird was happening. They decided to send one of the security units down, Sergeant Peniston. He got down there and saw the same strange lights we were seeing. I could see all these multiple color lights and things like that, and the air felt different. I don't know how to explain that, but electricity was on our skin, hair, etc. But that progressively got worse the closer we got to the trailer, and it got more intense. It seemed to be like an electricity-charged atmosphere. And then also, there were points where it seemed like everything was going in slow motion. As the service members approached the strange lights, Sergeant Peniston saw a large craft just beyond the tree line. The art was triangular and black, measuring about 6 to 7 feet high. I had come around to the far side of the craft, and that's when I noticed an inscription. It was about 3 feet long, 6 inches high. So, I expect to find something familiar, some prototype stuff USAF. I'm looking for something amiable. Instead of something familiar, I see these pictorial-type glyphs. And I got running my hand over the side of the craft. I need to figure out how to explain this. It's like someone was holding a picture of zeros and ones. Okay. I could see it in my mind's eye, zeros and ones. So, I recorded that one after another. When Peniston touched the craft, he said that he felt a strange download of information into his mind. And he felt compelled the next day to write down a series of zeros and ones, which we now regard as binary code. Years later, a computer programmer took this information, ran it through a translation program, and a message emerged. The statement read, "Exploration of humanity continuous for planetary advance. Eyes of your eyes originate year 8100. When one sees the origin year 8100, one is forced to speculate, might we be looking not just at extraterrestrials but time travelers from the future?" After the incident, the U.S. military conducted a brief investigation but allegedly tried to keep the eyewitnesses away from the press. But for Airman Burrows and Officer Peniston, the event was challenging to leave behind. Both men had lasting physical effects from the encounter and even reported. Strange dreams followed the incident. I began experiencing throat and eye problems. At one point, my gums turned white. I also faced vision issues. When I visited the doctor, one of his initial questions was whether I had ever been exposed to radiation. I've certainly had dreams about it and still harbor feelings about past events and potential future outcomes. In 1993, I had no service. About 3 months after the incident, I had these dreams and nightmares. During these dreams, I could perceive time travelers from 40 to 50,000 years in the future. It became evident that their return purpose was to correct and rectify something dreadful that had occurred. It necessitated time travel, a journey back into the past. The sensation has never felt extraterrestrial. It has consistently implied that they were a future version of us. It's plausible that the craft witnessed by James Peniston and John Burroughs did not originate from a distant star but rather from a remote point. On April 25, 1977, at 4:15 a.m., Corporal Armando Valdez led a 7-man military unit patrolling the northern desert. Suddenly, their lookout rushed into camp, having observed 2 bright violet lights descending from the sky and landing 500 yards away. The patrol leader Valdez approached these objects, and what transpired next remains shrouded in confusion and mystery. His comrades saw him nearly vanish into the light, recounting feelings of disorientation, confusion, and perhaps even passing out. When he reappeared, an astonishing discovery awaited 5 days' worth of beard growth and a watch indicating a date 5 days into the future. Had he been absent for 5 days while the rest of the patrol perceived it as merely a few minutes? We managed to interview 4 members of Valdez's squad, including Armando Valdez himself, and all confirmed this baffling experience. Immediately following the incident, Corporal Valdez returned to his men, nearly collapsing, and uttered a foreboding phrase. "Don't know who we are or where we come from, but we will be back soon." Many believe they upheld their promise in light of the mounting reports since this enigmatic encounter. UFO sightings are prevalent in Chile, a veritable hotbed of such activity. Over the past 8 years alone, the Chilean government has openly acknowledged several noteworthy UFO sightings. Chile presents an extraordinary array of cases, ranging from close encounters to pilot interactions with UFOs. The country's ongoing reputation as a UFO activity hub can be attributed to various factors. Chile boasts one of Earth's largest uninhabited geographic regions, characterized by desolate northern deserts and sparsely populated southern fjords and glaciers. These remote locations offer ample hiding spots and empty spaces on the map where peculiar phenomena might occur. No one goes. It's an ideal place to hide. It could be a perfect location for an underground base. Anything that enters our territory can remain hidden for centuries. No one will discover it, not even extraterrestrials hiding in or below the uninhabited regions of Chile. If they are indeed there, is their intention solely to observe humanity? Or could something more tangible attract them to this part of the world? During the height of the Cold War, an unidentified object reportedly crashed in the desert sands. What remained was allegedly transported to America's most top-secret facility, Area 51. However, it wasn't until 45 years later, in 1998, that a retired military engineer named Bill Yuhaus came forward with a stunning claim. According to him, the military didn't just possess extraterrestrial technology. They also had an actual living alien. Yuhaus claimed he worked in a secret laboratory in the Papoose Mountains of Area 51 in Nevada. Further supporting this claim, microbiologist Dan Burrish came forward shortly after Bill Yuhaus broke the story. Burrish confirmed Yuhaus's assertion and added a shocking twist. According to Burrish, the insectoid alien known as J-Rod revealed that he wasn't an extraterrestrial. He claimed to be a being from our future. According to J-Rod, a catastrophic event will occur on our planet shortly, destroying much of humanity. The survivors split into two different species, with one group going underground. Over time, they develop insectoid traits, mirroring the legends of the Hopi, Zuni, and Navajo cultures, which describe a period when the above-ground world was uninhabitable, and humans had to coexist with the ant people. This account raises intriguing questions. Could J-Rod's story validate the Hopi tales of ant people, suggesting they might be more than mere mythology? If these so-called insectoids exist, is it plausible that they are not extraterrestrial beings but humans from our future?